like the first time I ever led on Sunday morning at New Life, this was like 7 years ago. I was playing electric guitar and then singing like, I think it was like Glorious Day or something. It was some fast song. And so I was so scared because I'm like, man, this is a huge church. Like I'm the new guy. I've never led a song. Like I've only sang backgrounds. And so it was like my moment. And so I get up there, it's like 1 minute till the countdown hits 0. And I noticed that my mic stand was kind of drooping a little bit. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I just kind of picked it back up and tightened it a little bit. I'm like, okay, cool. And it stayed. And I turned around, I'm like, all right, guys, we ready to go? I turned back around and it went down again. It's like 3 seconds. And so I pull it back up and it literally falls apart from the center. And so I'm holding it and I'm literally trying to screw it on. You're gonna see the footage of this if this ever makes it. I'm trying to screw it on in real time as the intro's happening. And the lights are on, the cameras are on. I'm trying to screw it on, and it's not happening. And then I just stand there.
All right, hey, we're here for a part 2 of our episode on worship. It went so well last time. We had so many callers waiting to get on that we've now made this a part 2 episode. Amazing. For the worship. So Pastor Canaan, thank you so much for being on.
Thanks for having me.
If you missed last episode, make sure you watch that worship. But here we are, part 2 worship episode. Tell us a little about yourself, how you got into just worship leading, where you're at, and then we'll take our next caller.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, just bullet points. I grew up loving to sing, and I was in a small church that needed singers, and so I jumped on worship team and developed over the years, and then moved up here for school at Northwest University. Shout out.
Let's go.
And started serving at New Life, and slowly but surely came on staff there. I shared a little bit of that story on the first part 1. Yeah. But yeah, just haven't looked back. Just kept on leading, and youth, adults, kids, all that, and it's been a blast.
Well, thanks for being on here, doing 2 episodes with us, and it's such an important conversation, especially in next generation ministry, youth ministry. We're raising up the next generation of worshipers, of worship leaders, of worship team members. Yeah. And so we got a lot of callers really asking about this because it's a huge component of our ministries is that worship component. And so let's go ahead and take our next caller here. Caller, let's just here. Okay, caller, why don't you say your name, where you're from, how long you've been in youth ministry, and maybe a story and a question that come out of that.
What's up? My name is Brendan Backus. I've been.
Hold up. Brendan Backus, your dad's actually here. We didn't even know he didn't know you were calling in today. You want to say
Dad,
hi?
I saw you in the frame for a second.
Okay.
What's up?
Come on. I love it. We got some family in the house right now. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You're in Florida. Sorry, I cut you off there. This is awesome having you on today.
No, yeah. I love youth ministry, even though my dad forced me to go for the first 10 years of my life.
It worked. It worked.
Kidding. But yeah, I'm in Lakeland, Florida. I'm 23 years old. I graduated from Southeastern University in 2023. And for the past 4 or so years, I've been involved at Grace City Church in Lakeland, Florida, serving in all areas worship, but mostly with youth worship. And I remember 3 years ago, it was my first time getting to go do summer camp with Grace City. I was leading, it was night 1, session 1, I was leading the first song, and probably the number 1 rule is, worship leading, just know the words, even if you got the confidence monitor. Rule number 1 is never rely on the confidence monitor. But I was arrogant and broke that rule. I listened to the song maybe 2 or 3 times, and I was like, I'll have a confidence monitor. I'll be able to read the lyrics as I'm going. And night 1 comes by, and we. Looking back, it was really funny. We had this little TV, but we had it sitting on a cooler, like in the back of the sanctuary, and it was sitting on the cooler because it wasn't very high off the ground because it needed to be high off the ground. But I could see it, and song starts. I'm like, okay, cool. I got my confidence monitor, and the room start. Song 1. Not all the kids are in the room yet. They're flooding into the room. We start the song. I can see the confidence monitor, and then this kid walks in. He's got this huge afro. Oh, man. And I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at the confidence monitor. He starts walking towards the confidence monitor, and he stands right in front of us.
Yes.
he's got this big afro standing in front of the TV, and I bombed. I didn't know none of the words for the rest of the song. And it was really funny, but a good learning experience.
I mean, how could you even get out of that moment? You could be like, hey, kid, move out of the way. I mean, there's literally nothing you can do in that moment.
Right.
Wow.
Except learn.
What did you do in that moment? I mean, did you just like hum the song? Did you just step back and act like you were crying and had to have a moment out of the mic? I mean, what do you do?
It was bad. It was bad. I didn't do anything. I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know the words. I just like sang along with some other people knew the words. I kind of sang. It was bad, but dang.
And you said that was the last time you led in youth worship.
Yeah, that was the last time. They never let me sing.
Have you ever forgot words?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And too often to songs that I've written, I forget. That's the running joke in our team is that I most forget the words of the songs that I wrote.
That is so hilarious.
It's relatable.
Oh my gosh! So you've been there before. You've forgotten the
many
lyrics
times
before. Is there anything? I know you have a question for us, but here's a question: Is there for anyone watching right now that are worship leaders, anything you can do in that moment to cover yourself? Are you done for?
Well, I mean, song one, you can't pull out the tears. It just doesn't feel appropriate.
Yeah, that's true. It's all past.
So either I'll say, you come on, sing it out. But if it's halfway through verse 1, that also doesn't make sense. So it's hard. It's situational.
How about just say jump,
yeah,
and just have the whole crowd jump.
Hey, just sound effects.
Oh my God.
Sometimes that helps. If you have someone that did their homework and knows the song, you can act like they're supposed to be singing the song. I may have done that once or twice with Pastor Stu. I just look at him and I feel bad because it makes it look like he didn't know it. But
that is so cool.
There's things you can do.
Wow. You pass it off to one of the worship team members. Go.
That's leadership. Shifting blame. That's
good
it.
Stuff. Like, you better be ready and prepared. I might pass it off to you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Now, Brendan, so coming out of that, what's a question you have out of that? That's a great story.
In a youth culture, how do you encourage young people and youth students to really, in a worship environment, engage in worship versus just observe and just kind of see it as a time as you're watching the worship leader and the worship leader is performing? Like, how do you encourage like worshiping together? Everybody in the room, we're all doing the same thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Pastor Matt can speak to this a lot, and just having led the room and led people in that setting. But I think in youth, what I had seen, and granted, I honestly don't feel like I'm the best in that setting. I wish that I'd learned more tricks, but like taking time to actually explain what it is that you're doing, not just assuming that people know. I mean, especially when you're in a church that's, maybe there's a lot of kids in the room or something, and you're like, okay, maybe a lot of you know what we're supposed to be doing. You go to church, and so lift your hands, sing this out, like those things can be helpful sometimes, but to actually say, this is why we lift our hands, this is why it's important to sing, this is what the song means, like not assuming that people even understand what they're singing. Giving context, I think, helps the students lean in. And just like even a different angle to that, I found is when I led life groups within our youth ministry and I was able to actually connect interpersonally outside of the worship setting with students, they tended to worship more. And so I think that not just kind of banking on them singing a song because the lyrics are there, but leaning in on relationship and then explaining why we're doing what we're doing and what it all means is helpful.
That's so great. And I love how even you lead worship, Pastor Canaan. You lead it off the stage as much as you lead it on the stage. And even what you just said, the relationships that you're forming, you're building. We always say it's more than just the songs we sing is worship. And I know we say that because we're saying, hey, worship's a lifestyle. But also, just as worship leaders and pastors and youth pastors, it is more than just what they're singing. So be thinking through then with building the culture. If culture literally is built by the words we say, not just the songs we sing, then what are we doing, like you just said, explaining what hallelujah means? I think that's huge. The power of that means if kids are goofing off, maybe someone needs to come up and give a pastoral moment that maybe isn't even the worship team. To say, guys, do you realize what we're singing right here and the power of that? We're in a sacred space right now. Instead of, hey, guys, stop talking. Or what are you doing? Or shh. Oh, I can't stand that when people shh in the microphone. I'm like, come on, you got to be a better leader than that. You can't be belittling people from the mic, that kind of thing. But we've been there before. We've been frustrated. I've done it before.
Lord knows.
Yeah. So just knowing that every little area you are pastoring, that's off the stage, the team beforehand.
Yeah.
Are you having a moment where I'll walk in the back, there he is, Pastor Kenny doing a Bible devotional, or having one of the kids lead it. Bringing it in a devotional, setting the tone before there's even pre-service prayer. They're already having their own pre-service prayer. There's a tone it sets that it's not just the songs you're singing, but you've prepped before, not just prepped in what we normally would say is like prep the songs which you need to do and learn them. That's great, but there's even other ways we prep before that and after and even after the service as well to build that worship culture. So
100%.
Great question. Thanks for sharing. Any other thoughts you have, Pastor Brennan, on that?
No, I think that's great. I really do think not assuming that kids know everything is probably a good place to start, and just really explain the whole reason why we're in the room worshiping together. So I think that's great.
That's great. Brendan, thank you so much for calling. Lakeland, Florida.
Yep.
Thanks for calling in today.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see you guys.
See ya. Yeah, great questions. Man, I love that. Yeah, make sure you call in now, and you'll see that there. I think it's 552-242-MATT. And if that's not the phone number, it's right there.
Some numbers in Matt.
Call in there, and if we don't answer, leave a voicemail. Let us know what your question is, your story. We'd love to hear it as you call in, and it can be related to any questions. This episode here is just on worship, and it's been great so far. We got time for one more question. Well, hey, we actually have another caller here on the line. So, let me just make sure we answer that. We're still on the phone with Brendan there. Okay.
Wow.
All right, Pastor Ethan is on the line. Pastor Ethan, why don't you tell us a little about yourself, where you're from, how long you've been doing youth ministry for, and give us that story. Tell us the youth ministry story and maybe a question that's coming out of that.
Yeah, hey, what's going on? Yeah, my name is Ethan. I'm a youth pastor here in Kelso, Washington. So,
It's great.
super down south of Washington. You drive through it, you see our Target on the way to Portland.
Yep.
But we don't talk about Portland.
But you got Target, so that's all that matters.
We got Target, yeah. So we're blossoming, we're flourishing. I've been in youth ministry for about 7 years, and it's been awesome.
So you're on your year of Jubilee here, year 7.
Yeah. Well, I've only been at the church that I'm at now for 3 years, but I was part-time for a couple years, full-time for like a year and a half, and then moved into this new church, this new role here. And it's been amazing, and God is moving. He's moving all throughout the Northwest, and it's amazing to be able to be a part of it.
It's great to hear. Love that.
But yeah, I have a story and a question. So here we go. When I was first getting started in ministry, the song "Reckless Love" was like the song.
Oh man,
Oh, no.
it's the one-hit wonder.
We're
man.
going there.
It was the song. So
Wow, I don't know if I can go there right now. I still got some. Yeah, okay, keep going. Sorry, go ahead. Tell us the
it's
story.
all right. It was the song, and so like every single week, that was the only song that was requested to play. Like our students, if they had the choice, that would have been every single first song, second song, third song.
If kids heard that wasn't in that song set that night, they weren't coming to youth group that night.
Yeah,
I remember
left
that
the
era.
church. Yeah, they left the church.
Yep.
We're
Gonna go find a church that plays Reckless Love.
Exactly. But we were kind of building a student-led worship team. So it was really cool having students lead students. But musically and dynamically, it was really bad because none of these students knew what they were doing. They just wanted to be a part of it. So, of course, Reckless Love one week was the big song of this service. And the student that we typically had lead it, that was the strongest vocally, had left school early because she got the flu, and she was going to lead that song. And so the next student that was going to lead it was one who was not so confident vocally, but she had the heart. She just lacked the skill.
It's that distraction we're talking about. So
Yes.
there's distractions there, but go ahead, yeah.
So we start rehearsal. It sounded fine. Nothing crazy. The song was sang. I'll just say that. We had a small team. We just had keys, an acoustic guitar, a couple vocalists. We get service started. It's time for worship. First 2 songs go great. Nothing crazy, but Reckless Love hits.
And it hits.
It hit. Yeah, it was a little rough. Let me just say that. So the student, she gets ready to sing the song, but she misses almost every single cue to start it. Our worship was only like 15 minutes. We're in the 25 minutes. Took a minute.
Wow.
How many minutes did it take for her to start singing?
Too much. Too much.
A lot. Okay.
But finally we get it, and she's nervous a little bit, and she's singing it. She starts to get some confidence. She finds her cue. She gets into it. But there's that part once the chorus starts to build where it goes like the reckless love of God, yeah.
Nice. You should have been singing it. Yeah. You hit that note, bro.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And I can tell she's just getting ready to go for it. And I'm hearing like she's starting to get breathy and going for it. And reckless love of God, yeah, hits. And the noise that came out of her mouth was not a joyful noise. It was such an off-key scream that it caused all the kids in the room to either cover their ears or look around. Like, what is happening? So basically, the focus
was it like you said scream? So it was like a shrivel, like
a shriek,
like a shriek or a shrivel.
Like you think about those goats that were trending a while back. That scream.
Did it sound kind of like this?
Yeah, that was
my saxophone.
Were you there? That was basically it.
It wasn't amazing. A little bit of.
Oh no.
Okay, no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, not as pretty as that.
Yeah.
But so we finish worship. We get done. Everyone gets off the stage, and I go up to her and I was like, "Hey, you did awesome." Just to kind of build her up.
Okay, so you lied to her.
No.
Yes,
encourage.
I did.
You encourage. Okay, sorry. You encouraged her.
Here's where it got crazy. She goes up to me and she goes, "You know what, Pastor? I've never sang better in my entire life. The band was off."
All right, and that's when
the
compassion runs out.
So I was like, all right. So my question
before you do your question there, we actually have her on right now, listening in, your student.
Bridget,
so
what was your
why
side
don't
of the
you,
story?
yes, Bridget, come on and you tell your side of the story with Pastor Ethan allowing you to come up there in the first place. Tell us your side of the story here.
So funny.
No, I'm just kidding, Pastor Ethan. Totally joking.
I love it.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. What's your question?
So in building young teams, especially with student-led worship teams, what are some ways that you have been able to navigate those hard conversations with students that don't really have the best musical ears or abilities? Build them up enough so that they keep working on growing and not throw away their giftings and building their skills as well as their heart for worship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want them ending up on American Idol and people going, who the heck was in their life to let them go this far? You ever wonder that?
The bad ones?
Yeah, the bad ones. Yeah. You go, what? How did they even get this far on national TV? They don't have one person in their life just to look at them and go, hey,
just
don't do it.
A mama that really loved them.
Yeah, wow.
Told them
so that's a great question. How do we become that encouraging mother or father? That encouragement of seeing the best, knowing that it takes time to build. Even people with bad voices, it can, with lessons, can change. Talk to us about that, because that's a dance.
Yeah, no, it's a hard one. I mean, across the board, like my principle that I try to run with was, if a student wanted to be on worship team, I try to set up the expectation ahead of time, like, hey, like I'd love, so maybe they aren't the strongest if they audition and say, okay, they've got potential, but they're not the strongest. I'd say I'd love for you to serve. I love that you want to be a part of this, and I feel like you have a lot of potential. If you join the team, are you okay with me giving you just real constructive feedback? And it's like kind of setting it up, saying like, hey, like I want you to serve, but at the same time, I want you to have the expectation that we're gonna try to develop you. And it's not because I'm criticizing you or thinking that you're bad or whatever, but kind of opening it up. And often they would always say yes because they want to be on the team. And so then we have a pre-understood foundation of like, okay, I'm going to try to help coach you and develop you. And then if it was ever rough like that, I would always really try to find things that I would never tell them something that I didn't actually believe. So like for that girl, it might have been, she's saying off key, but I loved how confidently you went for that note. And I would genuinely be
Yeah.
like, I'm so glad that you went for it
Yeah.
rather than kind of like turtling up and just not doing it. So I mean, that's a good thing.
Really good.
That's genuinely like I would actually be able to shout that out. Now at the same time, it wasn't on pitch, you know.
Yeah.
And if she was like, man, Pastor, you're so right, I crushed it, which it sounds like she's like, I'm so good. Then I'd be like, you know what, I love the potential, I love your heart, and these are the things you did great. Now here's the things that I could see needing some help. And then if you can't help them personally with that because it's not your skill set, like I don't play drums, I can't teach someone how to play drums, try to connect them with someone that can. And but I love the idea of starting with the understanding if you're going to join the team, it's not just to coast with where you're at. I want to call you up and help you develop and get better.
That's so great. A worship culture really that you're building must be a development culture, is what I'm hearing you say. If you're going to have a healthy worship culture, then anyone on that team needs to understand it's a development culture. So it's not an attack on her. You actually you're developing everybody. So it wasn't because she hit a wrong note, but once you start building that into your culture development, it's no longer about you did something wrong. It's like, no, we always have conversations all the time on how we can get better, no matter who the longest is up there or the greatest sounding to the person that sounds the worst, hasn't been out down there much. There's always a development culture. So I love how you said that because I think that's the number one thing. And with churches, sometimes you're at small churches, they're looking around going, well, you don't have anybody else. So I am it was the band's problem or whatever. And what they need to realize is, no, this is a developing culture. I don't care that we don't have anyone else. We're going to treat a developing culture isn't determined by the size of the youth ministry. Well, I can't have a developing culture because I only have 2 people. We'll start with those 2 and begin to build a new culture with them because now what are they doing? They're going to develop people. Yeah. Now you just went from, well, I only have one worship leader that does acoustic. I don't have a big church. We don't have a bunch of people to pull from. Versus, no, I'm going to create a development culture, plant seeds, grow roots, and God will make it grow. And we'll just keep doing that. So I think that's a huge highlight for there. That was great. Anything else, Pastor Ethan? That was a great question. Awesome story. That would have been great to have her on. It would have just helped our ratings go up. But now we can put this in a clip and make it look like we actually had her on and just make it bait switch. So thank you for that. But anything else?
No, that's you answered it so well. Like I think that's so right. Just building up that culture in a healthy way, kind of building them up. I really like that. That's awesome.
That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, and if you start with that as the understanding, then there's no hard feelings. I think that's a
huge.
Key part to it.
Yeah. That's good. Pastor Ethan, thanks for calling in today here in Washington State, Kelso.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for calling in. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. God bless you.
Yep. See you guys.
Wow. No. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. I always forget. I like having them on. Well, I thought this has been an incredible couple episodes. It all started out with being just one, and the calls kept coming in, and so I appreciate just your time and jumping on a couple episodes here.
Thanks for having me, man.
Just love your ministry, love what you do, and appreciate you adding value to these youth pastors and the people listening today.
Yeah, I get to say I got there at the start. I was on in the ground floor.
Yeah, no.
Better call Matt.
Come on, Let's call Matt. Let's go.
Me,
Season 1. So, love you guys. Believe in you. Make sure you call this number right here, 552-242-MATT. And if it's not that number, you see what it is right there. Call in. If we don't answer, leave a voicemail. We'll get right back to you. We'll see you next time on Better Call Matt.